So I'm back once again at Northton Saltmarsh, or better known as the Saltings. Now if you've watched one of my earlier videos from Harris, you will have seen that I've been to this location already once before, right early on during my visit. This is about 11 or 12 days in right now, and one of the benefits of this location for me is that it's just literally down the road from where I'm staying, so I've got great opportunities to come back time and time again to try and improve on what I've taken previously. I'm hoping on this morning, which is probably going to be my last morning here, that something special just might happen.
So good morning everybody, welcome back to Northton Saltmarsh. I looked out the curtains this morning and the weather forecast was wrong yet again. However, on this occasion it's wrong in a good way. They forecasted completely clear skies this morning. I was a little bit downhearted after a session that I had yesterday over on Luscantide Beach there, which was fantastic. But anyway, I looked out the curtain and we've actually got some high cloud, and there's a beautiful band of clear on the horizon. Coupled with that, I've managed to get into the middle of the salt marsh. The tide's quite low this morning, so some kind souls have put some rocks over one of the channels back there, which when I came last week I couldn't see. There was too much silt and the tide was right up and I couldn't find them. So I'm in the middle and I found a lovely composition. I was going to originally work on, it's not letting to focus, I was originally going to work on with this pool as my foreground, which I quite like, but when I look at it, what happens is that the little channels to the rear of that sort of merge, they sort of compress together and you don't get the water channel in between them two. So I've moved forward, and I think, to be fair, I've seen this shot being done before, but a slightly closer up version. I'm going for quite wide this morning. I want to encompass the whole mountain beyond. So what I've done, try and see if I can show you how I've composed this. I've composed this in such a way that the channels crisscross in the foreground of the camera, but crucially for me is I want the reflection, which I've got today. Where is it? There it is, of the mountain sat right in the middle of that pool there. If that sky lights up, this is going to be absolutely tremendous shot. I'm going to be so happy with it. So fingers crossed that that band of clear on the horizon stays good, and this stuff above me keeps still. I'm quite excited now this morning. Finally we're going to get something which is exactly what I've got going on in here. So yeah, just got to wait and see. So I'm still playing the waiting game. It's about now. I've just noticed that the clouds are starting to just take on a little bit of colour. I have absolutely no way of knowing whether that horizon line has filled up with cloud, but what I'm seeing above suggests it may have done. I would have thought there'd be more pink by now, but there is definitely some colour being taken on. So I'm just keeping my fingers crossed that you know, that it's going to happen still. There's a little bit of ripple developed on the water surface, but it's not too significant as yet that it's actually spoiling the reflection. It's worse than I'd like, but it's always the way. As daylight dawns, the weather can change, and I've seen that so many times. I put the camera on a vertical orientation. I did have it on the portrait, on the landscape format, but when I had that before, it was taking on too much of the left and the right hand side of the mountain. Because it's so far away, the wide angle was exaggerating the distance, and it was just making it zoom away into the far distance, and I was getting a lot of empty space on either side of the mountain. So I've tipped it on its end, and I've tipped it on its portrait format and angled it down, so I've got a little bit of salt marsh at the foot, and then this nice crisscross of these two watercourses in the near foreground that take you right to the mountain. Looks really lovely through the camera. In fact, I'll show you that now. I'll bring this camera over and let you have a quick look. Might just have to stop the recording. Dial that down a bit. So there you see that lovely crisscross shape in the foreground. just leading your eye to the mountain, and you can just see, hopefully you can just see that the mountain is just sat, the reflection just sat in the middle there. Looks really lovely. So I've just got to wait and pray that it all comes together. Don't know whether you can hear that going over. Those are 5 hooper swans. They left my area of Lancashire probably about 4 or 5 weeks ago, or started to disperse a little bit earlier than that, but they've actually went completely around about 4 or 5 weeks ago, and they're on their way to Iceland, the breeding grounds. It's lovely to see, make that connection from where they're quite frequently seen during the winter months in autumn, and then suddenly they just disappear. But to see them now in that stepping stone en route to where they'll spend the summer raising their young is just fantastic. And we've headed exactly in that direction, right over the Atlantic. Wonderful, absolutely, you know, birds, they just know exactly what to do, when to do it, and where to go. And it's just the warmth of the weather, the change of the seasons, you know, the light and the increasing daylight hours that just make them suddenly one morning get up and just go. Finally happening. It's finally happening. We're getting a glow. Focus stacking the image. This may be all very, very fleeting. It's about 10 minutes before sunrise. Looks good through the back of the viewfinder. Beautiful glow from the clouds above. I don't think this is the real pre-dawn glow they're expecting, but it's certainly the glow that you get just before the sun pops over the horizon, and the light's being scattered about amongst all the clouds, and it's just creating this lovely sort of warm pinkish orangish hue glow on the landscape. It looks very unusual through the back of the viewfinder. And if I get an opportunity, I'll show you. But after about 5-6 attempts even, I'm not gonna miss an opportunity to grab this shot while it's happening. Come on. In an instant, this can just disappear. So like I say, I've focus stacked this image, but what I haven't done is I've not put my hand in front of the camera for the first shot. But at 30-second exposure, I can't afford to waste 30 seconds with my hand in front. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to adjust the exposure so it's grossly underexposed for 2 seconds, and just take a quick one with my hand under now, while I've got something in the bag at least. And that hand just gives me that confidence that I know that that's where the stack started. Right, let's do another one. I've got the Lee 6 stop on at the moment, because there is quite a bit of ripple in that in the water, and the mountain's not reflecting as nice as I would have liked it. So I'm taking my next one now, focused on the grasses in the foreground. Got mirror lock up and 2-second timer, and this one's 13 seconds at f10, and because I've got 3 images to create the stack, f10 will give me just enough depth of field to take it from one from the foreground image to the middle to the distant. Ideally I'd like to go to f16 on this camera, but I just fear that 3 exposures at 30 seconds is risking it, because the light just might change so quickly. That's the third one, focused on the mountain in the background. The colours are just so unusual. I'm not sure how they'll come out when it's processed, but it's almost just a weird glow that the camera's picking up, but it looks really magnificent. I'll just quickly show you. Hopefully you can see that the camera's picking. So you've got this weird orange sort of glow on the near foreground in the water that's being picked up from the sky that's illuminated above me, and then you've got the almost blue tones of the clouds above the mountain. But you can see now that the mountain reflection is actually just starting to appear, although it's not exactly perfect, and the lee 6 stop is just helping to smooth that out and make it a bit more easier to see. Now the question on my lips is this the shot that I wanted? And the short answer is, would you believe it? My battery died. I really need to be quick. That thing is definitely coming my way, and I'm going to get absolutely soaked any second now. What I just wanted to say is, am I happy with this shot? And the short answer is absolutely yes. Was it the shot that I've been trying to get all week? No. I wanted that high cloud, I wanted that really high cloud going lovely pink, and I wanted those reflections. But having said that, what I got I think was quite unusual. It's probably a shot that I'll probably never ever be able to predict again. It was all down to the circumstances of the very unsettled weather that we've got, and the sun rising through some unusual cloud formations, some stormy clouds and some mid-altitude clouds, and it's what created that orangey unusual glow that I probably will never get again here. The high altitude cloud, when you get those, the light is pretty predictable, but what I had this morning was certainly not that, so that's why I'm happy with what I got. I'm going to leave it there because that is definitely coming, and I've got a lot of kit out at the moment. What I will say is thank you for watching, thank you for persisting with this film. I feel, for me at least, it's been a long one. I've lost count how many times I've been here. I think it's 5 or 6 mornings I've stood here and just kept failing miserably. But yeah, we got something in the end. So as always, please subscribe to the channel, leave some comments below, let me know what you think about this film. Like and share the videos always helps, and yeah, I'll see you at the next one. Bye for now.